الله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله
My
وبركاته.
name is Baguma Abdul Karim.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hawa Nanjovic Mbugwe.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Janet Jingo Bimeri.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nakai Jamida.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Rehman Nakiranda Raja.
Okay, you're most welcome, everyone. So today the live streaming topic today is focusing on marriage, empowering women, and challenges that come with those things. Yes? So I would want to believe that everyone here is has graduated in that sector, and we are going to have an open discussion. So I'm going to start with the ladies, then I'll go to the gentleman. Yes, so I'm going to start with my sister on the right. I'm going to first ask you to briefly tell me what you think about marriage as a married Muslim woman.
Marriage is a commitment, and it comes from the heart. You don't just marry for the sake. You marry from your heart. You must be ready for marriage, and first of all, understand what it entails. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Yes, please.
Mashallah, marriage, as one I believe and think, it is the submissiveness from both sides, from both parties, the man and the woman, taking putting it righteously in the religious line first, then the rest follows suit.
Personally, I think marriage is a union of two individuals. For the
It
most
can't be more than two.
for the most basic, even if the man has 5 wives, astaghfirullah, 4 wives, he's not married to all 4 at once. He's married to each one of them individually. So one marriage is to 2 individuals who decide to come together for a common goal. That would be for their iman and to have children. Or for my experience, marriage is not so much of a romantic notion of marrying from the heart, but it's a right of life. You're old enough, you have to get married and get done with it.
So for you think we have to marry for just, we shouldn't put it in our hearts that we should get married?
Particularly, no. Marriage is a right of life, I think, like death. You don't choose when to die, but you will definitely die. So as a Muslim, at one point you're going to have to get married. So you choose who you want to spend your life with, who you want to further your iman with, who you want to work on that 50% with. And for me, it has nothing to do with romantic notions. I believe more in compatibility. Marriage is the coming together of 2 separate individuals' personalities towards a compatible relationship with ihsan and all those. That is marriage.
Brother Abdul Karim,
Yes, please.
what do you think of marriage?
I
For you,
think
what's marriage?
marriage, I think, is not our choice. Marriage is not our choice because Allah and His Prophet set marriage, the way we should marry, how we should get married. So it's not our choice. You get? So if it was our choice, then we would marry the way we want. So that's why the Prophet said that when someone is ready for marriage, should do this and that and that. Then Allah said that you should be together in this and such a way. So that's marriage. Not our wish that we should marry, but Allah ordained us to marry, and the Prophet said the ways of marriage. So that's why people have failed to cope up with the Prophet's words and the way, because Allah said, if you really love, told us that if you really, in kuntum tuhibbun Allah, if you really love Allah, fattabi'uni, then follow the Prophet. So people have failed to follow the Prophet. That's why marriages are failing today. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do another round depending on what each one of you has addressed. So, Ukhti, you said marriage has to come from the heart. So, at what point exactly does someone know that now marriage has come into my heart, so I think I should get married? how can you like elaborate it?
I think it comes from the heart at the point of maturity. When you feel when you feel it's the right time, you feel you're mature enough. And since we live in a world of certain responsibilities like education and
Career.
other career and stuff. So depending on where you are at that point in time, as long as you're done with your education or you feel you've upgraded your education and you feel you've ripened, or it depends if your parents have gotten a suitor for you, or
What if
You
what
know?
if you feel like you're ready for marriage at the heart, and you're done with like education, the career, you feel like you're at it, and the marriage is in the heart. But how are you going to know the person you're getting married to? Or you just have to put it in your head that it's from the heart. Now, whoever comes, uh,
now
Help
Islam,
us.
Islam is a beauty, and from the environment where I come from, I think when you feel you're ready and you feel you need a companion, we have different approaches to marriage. We have leaders, family leaders, religious leaders who the responsible people normally approach for them to get you a suitor. So I think I still believe it's from the heart. At that point in time, as long as you're done with
we shall get back to you. So, Ukti, you talked about, I think the major point in your discussion was submission. And you talked about dual submission. The husband should submit to the lady, the wife, and the wife should submit to the husband. So, I want you to break down this submission for us. What do you mean? Okay, I understand. Of course, we passively understand the word submissive, but make it active. What do you mean as a lady, as a wife, you have to submit, and a husband has to submit? For you, what is your expression of submission?
At the end of it all, I said it comes with putting religion first. When you put religion first, Islam, us being Muslims, when you put religion first, you end up finding that you have a way of how and when and whom you should marry. If you find someone who suits your personality, you have the path that you take. We either go to our elders, the elders mean our parents, the sheikhs, the aunties, our mothers, we talk to them. In that due course, when we give them the idea of whom we want to get married to, come in line with religion. Of course, they will have to do the primary work, but again, it comes back to the two of you. Are you ready to submit yourself into marriage? Are you ready to commit? Are you ready to be there for each other? Are you ready to support the field of marriage? Because at the end of it all, we start when it's empty. If you are not submissive to each other, you end up finding have nothing to fill in the bracket
So
of
your
marriage.
point in summary is that if there is no dual submission, the marriage shouldn't happen. Is it something like that?
Yes, because if the two of you are not agreeing, then why should marriage be there? It shouldn't. Whether you are connected or you found each other individually, at the end of it all, the two of you have to agree for a marriage to move on.
Ukhti, you specifically compared marriage to death.
Yes.
Not literally, but you get my point. It's like a right to life. Whether you want to die or not, you will die. So whether you want to marry or not, you have to get married.
Yes, I think I speak from the point of view of Islam.
Uh-huh.
It's a rite of passage, and unfortunately, I usually love to brand myself as a realist of Islam.
So you got married after you knew it was the right, or
No,
the perception of the right got you there?
All right. I would build more on, I wouldn't say culture, but my family. I come from a very diverse family, but part of it still does arranged marriages. So I grew up seeing my cousins that I played with get married. At 16, there are those that got married when we were still in school. And for me, I actually keep saying this. My mother told me you're either in school or you get married. So that was it. Because what would keep you home at 18 if you're not in school? And in my family at 20, by the time you're in university, you expected to leave university with a potential spouse. If you don't have one, will be phone for you. Why? there isn't, the notion of dating is not accepted in my family.
Okay, so now, Alhamdulillah or Mashallah, you come from a family that has kind of doctrinized these things in your system, in your operating system.
I think
Like their culture within you. Doctrine is like a normal culture. So within you, you believe in them.
Yes.
So there you come, you meet a person like me, who does not have those things in their family background or upbringing or my surrounding while growing up.
Okay.
So you meet me and you tell me marriage is a right to life. And then I'm thinking, what exactly do you mean? What would you tell a person like me? Like, I'm close-minded about this whole thing of marriage is a right to life. How do you tell me that it's a right to life without you telling me that, you see, according to Islam, it's this, and, I was brought up like this? Because I'll also tell you I was brought up different. In our area, you marry when you want.
Yes.
And if you don't want, you chill.
Okay, I think I need to add that I come from I won't say very Muslim family, but
A practicing
a
family.
very practicing family. Not my immediate family, but my entire extended family. Where stuff life I'm wrong, most people who delay marriage usually date. That's the concept I have, so I beg correction. When you find someone in their late 20s who is not yet married, they will tell you, I was dating someone this one. Now, for us, dating is not an option. If you're old enough to date, then you're old enough to marry. Because there is no way you're going to tell your mother that I'm going out with so and so. She will say, okay, so and so, bring him. I was like, okay, it's you who's going out with my daughter? When? Because we will not tolerate zina. No one wants to tolerate zina. We do not have the concept of cohabiting. So if you're not ready for marriage, you shall not be forced. But you have to be at home, respect the curfew. You can't say I'm out dancing.
Fast one day.
You can't, no, we fast. But I'm telling you that once we don't force people to get married, we do not. But you are told the concept of going out with, let's say, Muslim for 5 years as you wait to see if he's going to sprout horns or if he slaps or if he's what. It's not because they know after 1 year, Iblis will whisper. And as much as everyone says we did not have sex, but you can't tell me two adults met, went out, and there was no form of intimacy. There was no hugging, there was no kissing, there was not all of that. So for me, I believe in marriage. If you're old enough, then get someone who's compatible. There are people who are compatible, and there are those people, like you said, who are raised to wait and see if someone will turn green or they'll grow a tail. But if you are 32 and I'm assuming you are ripe, like she said, and you meet, let's say, a Muslim who knows zina is not an option, he either fulfills his 50% or he starts with zina as an option. So, like-minded, because regardless of what we say, whether you will ripen at 40, at 50, at 35, you will ripen.
Your point is ripen.
You will ripen. So, my ideas may sound very radical, but at the end of the day,
They make sense.
it's maybe to me, maybe they make sense. But like she said the submissive, but I would like to use the word compatible. I would love to use compatible.
Akhi, the table of men.
The type of
I
men.
hope you feel there is like gender balance here.
There's like gender balance actually.
So
I've
you're
liked
in your
Sister
definition.
Nafiranda's argument because first of all, like I told you earlier, Sister Jamida said that marriage is all about connecting two hearts. But you remember, Allah said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِ in His signs, and خَلَقَ لَكُم مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. He created you women from us. And said, those were His signs. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Put love and mercy. So sometimes love will disappear, but mercy will maintain you. You get up to your old age. You get. So don't be thinking that when I'm in marriage, love must be there. Love will disappear, and then rahmah will maintain your marriage up to your last breath. You get my point. Then secondly, it's not all about getting raped. The Prophet said, "Ya ma'shar shabab, O youth." He called upon the youth, meaning raping means you a youth. That is in Uganda. That is in Uganda, according to the Ugandan our country's constitution, 18 above 18. So you're right. So if you go in Arab country, they grew as in spade. Yeah? You get?
Mature.
So for them, at 15,
You are right.
Jamid is like 15 in their country.
Yes, you are right.
Of course. So you're ready. So ya ma'ashara shabab or youth, man istata' minkum al-liba, whoever is ready or is ready should marry. And then in Surah I think Nur, Allah said, whoever is not ready, فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفِ الَّذِينَ لَا يَجِدُونَ نِكَاحًا, he should wait or she should wait. He should be patient. Because
But what if the one who's not yet ripe, they are eating them with salt in their own?
you're ready. Because if you accept eating you, then meaning you're
What if
ready.
they don't accept?
How?
Then it's
In which way? Then you're disobeying your Lord. Because you're ready, and then you're putting salt in you so that they can eat you. You get? So that's why we fail. You get?
Afi, you're representing the table of men
Yes,
in this
yes.
platform. So I would want to ask you, we had to discuss marriage and empowering women. So in your view, as a man, stroke husband, stroke father,
Grandfather.
your grandfather.
Of course.
Wow. So what would you talk about? What is your perception about empowering women? Like, do women, your wife, stroke your daughters or your granddaughters, what is your perception about them going to school, having a career, making it out there,
Working,
everything that comes along that line?
I think going to school is not a problem, and working is also not a problem. But how should you work? How should my daughter work?
And where?
My wife is working, but under the jurisdictions of Islam. You get? The hospital she's working in, she's working in a women department. She wanted to work in any hospital. I told her, if you're not going to this hospital, then chill. She accepted. She's working in a jurisdictions of Islam. So many of our sisters are just working because they have to work. I have my problems. I have my family. I'm catering over this. I'm catering over this. So that's a problem. So if you think of working as a married woman, then think about Islam. And then think about what the Prophet told. Otherwise, we shall follow here and the hereafter. That's my perspective.
What do you think are the challenges empowered women face?
Many. Actually, first of all, you cannot serve two masters. You have a husband and you have your boss. Your boss will say, we have a meeting on Sunday. And your husband say, on Sunday,
have to
Sunday,
go to
I
the
have.
village.
No, I have a Sunday.
Oh.
Like me, I'm working class. On Sunday, I'm home. Then you tell me we have a meeting with my boss. Then who should you serve? Your boss or your husband? If you serve your boss, then you're disobeying your Lord. You get? So those are the challenges. So I would advise the sisters out there, if you opt to get a work or job, try to think about the outcome of that in your marriage and the hereafter. Because we are Muslims. We're not talking about the global world and how all people are living, but a Muslim woman, a working class, but a Muslim woman. So you should think of getting a job, but that job should be backed up with your deal.
I understand.
Does it,
So
does
on
it mean,
exactly that
does
point.
it mean that we should not women should look at particular careers that would not carry them on to like wide offices or open offices or offices that are mixed with men?
I think you're old enough and you have experiences in Uganda. I've been in news, TVs, exposing Muslim women with the challenges they're getting, being dated, being hugged, being kissed, being forced in zina, all those challenges. So I want, in Uganda, those are usual things. And some Muslim women don't mind, say, after all, I have them. So that's the challenge. So I would advise that if you're thinking of getting a job, any job, try to think of that job not diverting you from your day.
So are you
So
trying
someone
to
will say, I'm strong. I cannot allow a man to tag me, to hug me. You're not your boss. Maybe you owning your own business, that's alhamdulillah. But if not yours, you're working under Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of this, and your boss is a man, then that is totally.
So there are gentlemen who have females as their bosses, and is this thing do you consider this to be one-sided, that as a Muslimah, I'm supposed to consider what my husband will think of me when I get married, that everything I have to do, whatever job I'm doing, whether I'm an architect or anything, I'm supposed to consider what he will think of me, how he will perceive me, because perhaps my boss is a man. Now, what if I'm a man, I'm married,
I'm a woman, you're a woman,
I'm a man, I'm married,
yes.
My boss is a
woman.
female, yes. So for me, I'm not supposed to, like, as a man, I'm not supposed to consider what my wife will think, how will perceive my job. I'm not supposed to consider all those things. Like, is it one-sided?
I will give a verse. I won't recite it, but it's in Surah Ahkaf, the 15th ayah.
Uh-huh.
Allah told us when choosing, even men, when choosing a work, when choosing a job to do, try to choose a job that will protect, will be, when you feel like you then will not be, So, even as men getting a work or job anywhere, you have to think of your religion first. Not your woman, because I'm not pleasing you. I'm pleasing my Lord. So in pleasing my Lord, I have to get a job that will protect me from getting anything that will get my Lord annoyed. You get?
I understand.
Yes.
So the women have to please their husbands, then the men please Allah. Is
course.
it that way, or the women also have
Women
to
should
Allah?
please their Lord first, and then their husbands.
So the men are not supposed to please their wife; they're only supposed to please Allah.
But you're supposed to obey your husband.
But you're supposed to please your wife.
In obeying my Lord doesn't mean that I should please you. I should please you in these normal activities like loving you, giving you gifts, caring and all that. But in work, I shouldn't say that, oh, Mariam, please, you can't work. And whatever work you get, I love you so much. You just go. That is not correct. You get?
No,
so I'll please you to the peak,
I understand.
Mm.
Let's get back to you. I'm not yet done with you. So, Ukhti, now we are going to discuss about empowerment and the challenges we face as women. So, we've shifted from the marriage is at heart.
Okay.
You're married, you're a married woman, and I believe you are empowered.
Yeah.
So for you, the challenges you are facing as an empowered woman, how do you think you solve them?
It depends on the challenges. I had a challenge of wearing hijab.
Oh, before you continue, did you consider what your husband would think and all those things, or?
We actually talked together. I did my interview after him telling me to wear the right way.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went for my interview after his approval and telling me to dress the right way. And I remember him saying, because I wanted to put on a bit different, he said, if you don't go in that picture, they'll always see you in a different picture. So you go, if they are to give you that job, they should see you as a hijabi. So that is one of the challenges that I would think I would have faced, because I work in the New Vision, and New Vision really, there are no big deals. They respect religions. They serve everyone. And for me, as I dress properly, and no one tells me, no, you're not supposed to dress like that.
So challenges you're facing?
A dressing code, I think.
Dressing code was a challenge at that time, but it's no longer a challenge.
So you have no challenge, alhamdulillah.
So you have no challenge
Not
within
one I've identified.
balancing your career and your marriage is totally
Now, the challenge with balancing career and marriage, I try. Because we're both working.
So in
We're
that
both
trying,
working.
I want you to give us, at least to the ladies that are here today and the ones that are listening, you could give us just one solution, how you try to level this up.
Now, how I try,
Yeah.
I always communicate with my family, with my husband. We know what we're supposed to do every day, so we're always in touch from morning to evening. He's calling me right now. And the issue with home, I'm a very hardworking woman. After my work, I make sure I go back home and do whatever I'm supposed to do. You may not believe, but it's true. I'm telling you, I do the cooking, I give away cigarettes, I do gas. So because it's fast, so I make sure that my family is catered for in all ways.
Should we say your marriage is perfect?
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not
We are going to discuss the empowerment, but for you, I still wanted you to help me with one thing. The submission. You know, the opposite of submission is oppression. And I would like for you, specifically you, I believe the mere fact that you use submission in your definition, I'm sure you understand it in all aspects. And I'm sure I'm not overestimating this. So now, for you as a Muslimah, do you think there is oppression within submission, or if not, what is the difference between oppression and submission? And do you think that someone can still be married and experiencing oppression within the marriage?
Yes, mashallah. Um, Many people, I don't really think, but it's the fact. Many people are married and they are oppressed. But because Shay Bagma mentioned of something of Rahma,
Mercy.
mercy, time comes when there is no love in marriage.
Yeah, of course.
But because you have children that you have to raise, you have some have reasons, they have a reputation to hold. Some women feel they should not even go ahead to look for other partners to begin up families, and they choose to stay back because of the mercy they have upon maybe their husband. Sometimes you find that some women are married, but their husbands' families are more loving than their husbands. And they feel that honestly they can't leave those families that they became part of.
Yeah.
They will endure the oppression, take care of the children, and love their new families.
Without love for the husband.
When there is no love, and when there is mercy,
It's happening.
it's so much happening.
So
And
what's
those
your
families
view
are
on it?
there.
How can we deter the oppression in marriages?
If the oppression is there, and honestly, someone cannot go on with it, if you reach the extent of saying, honestly, with this Muslim, this Muslim, the man I got married to, I can no longer have any kind of mercy towards him. I don't have love anymore. The best thing is to divorce.
Yeah.
Because it's accepted in Islam, given you've reached a certain point of saying, honestly,
This is not the perseverance and the
Exactly.
sabr Allah talked about. And
You can no longer be patient. You've reached an extent of maybe you don't even cook for him. You've reached an extent of,
No salam, no
believing,
what.
no salam. You've reached an extent of some women who are saying that they could be an extent of poisoning their husband. If you want to remove his life, all in the name of saying you are tired of him, why should you stay in such a marriage? Why? The best thing, which even has rewards in it, instead of killing someone, go ahead, ask for a divorce. It's better that way, Islamically.
Yeah.
Other than being with someone, you are oppressed and you end up committing a greater sin of killing someone or doing something more evil, or even going into shirk because you feel you want to hold on to the name of being married to Shay so and so. So I believe if there is oppression and you can no longer be submissive to your partner, let it be and settle for something else because you can't handle.
Ukhti, before you go, I just want us to continue from her point, the oppression and submission. Of course, we shall go back to the empowerment because it's very crucial. So, in your aspect, apart from divorce, how else can we deter oppression in marriages?
One, I think I can put the two together since I'm leaving. Apologies. I think the biggest challenge women who work face, some women face, are their husbands. So that brings out the bit of oppression.
Yeah.
Muslim says, okay, he won't cater for everything. So it's like, it's okay, you can go and work. It's like, they're the basics. They'll provide food, shelter. And some men, Allah have mercy on us, we just have to speak the truth. Muslim brothers these days have become very lousy. They do not provide for the wives, and they have gone away from the Quranic teaching of 100% of the house depends on you, the man. Then they have misconstrued the four-wife sunnah for a free pass to zina. And so all these have brought in an oppression to the women. One, he does not have time for his family. He will look for any reason to chase Mariam away so that Hafsa can come in. So he will frustrate you. He will not provide for you, then you go to work. You go to work, he will call, say you're a prostitute, you're with men. When you come home, he says, I don't want the maid to cook for me. I want the food made by you. You make the food, he comes back at 10, past 10, 11, you have to serve him. And all these things just to frustrate you. Then about Ihsan, you said another way to what?
Oppression, deter oppression.
To
in
deter
marriage.
oppression.
Yeah.
I think all this comes in at that point of marriage. What are your goals? What are your goals? What are your specifications? It's like when I say I'm going to meet Muslim at Africana. If I go hungry expecting him to buy for me food and he doesn't, I will be doubly annoyed because I will be hungry. But if I'm going to meet Muslim and I do not know whether he'll buy for me food or not, and I eat food before I come, if he doesn't buy for me food, then it's neither good nor bad because I was prepared. So I think what happens is the disillusionment. Many women come to my inbox and speak about, because I'm open about being divorced. They come to my inbox and say, I'm going through all this, and I always ask, what were your expectations when you got married? Oh, we used to date, he loved me and this and that. And I'll tell you, but look at the person you married. What were the principles at home? What you think may be oppression is exactly how he was raised, is exactly what he saw his father doing. So for someone who grew from a home where daddy was always rubbing mommy's shoulders and carrying the handbag and what, if she goes to Muslim's house, apologies for always using your name, but if she goes to Muslim's house, Muslim grew up in Butambala, his father was Haji, he made sure all the kids were paid for fees, he never spoke to any of them, all the time he spent was out with his friends, and the only time his family saw him was when he was watching news and no noise, and the only time his wife saw him was in bed. So this is how Muslim grew up, and all his uncles were like that. So he loves you, and so you combine. That will be oppression for some reasons. Then apart from those that are astaghfirullah, animals, and they do all these things in a wrong way, there are those things. So I think sometimes when you speak to married people, each case of oppression is representative. Someone may be provided for everything, but all she wants is time with her husband. I have spoken to those. She has a big car, she has a house, the kids are paid for, she has a bank account, and she's not happy.
Because there is no time.
Whereas when I am like, subhanallah, now that means that's a done deal. Give me all of that and come once in a while, I'm okay. So that's oppression. Then there are those that don't even want the husband's time, they want extra in ibadah. And he can't provide that, and they are not happy. So I think oppression is dynamic, and it's specific to each case, apart from those other cases. But then those other cases where a man becomes bad, it's because he's deviating from what Allah has said. Do not commit zina. If you commit zina, Allah will put a spot on you, a spot until you stop seeing. Because if you commit zina, you need a reason why you came back home late. And you don't want to explain. So you'll pick a fight. You will not sleep with her, and she will quarrel, you will quarrel, and then maybe a slap or two is thrown about. And then what's that? That's his story. The girl you're cheating with will need a new phone. You need to give her that. So that's what I'm saying, that all these things, if a couple marries for the sake of Islam, feelings aside, because the love fluctuates, it's up and down. But if you get married and you're like, Muslim, I'm marrying you because I want to further my Islam, and Muslim says, Rahma, I'm marrying you because I want to further my Islam, when you go there, you will have the common ground of, I love Muslim, you're misbehaving, you're allowed to marry four. So bring that girl, go to her father's house, don't go jump into club. No, you want to marry her, be okay, because men fear to marry, but they don't fear zina. So if you give your husband a pass and tell him, you know what, if you want to marry, make it official. But I will not accept this business of jumping around at night. Marry her, put her in the house. But I mean, it's the hard truth. It is the very hard truth. Women don't want their husband to marry a second wife, and they'll say, Newaba akoze kwenda kasta akomao ngasimanyi akomeo.
Collect all the diseases.
So the diseases, Allah is the one who protects. Because even you may be faithful, but your husband married a woman who has a problem. But I'm saying the concept of I don't want my husband kunzako, and you turn a blind eye to whichever girl he's hopping around with at Africana, that's also a problem. Tell him, no hopping around, marry. You find the girl is like, my friend, hello? Yes, Hafsa, this is my husband's phone. This man is allowed to marry a second wife. He has not married you by now, just know he doesn't care for you.
Sure.
Instead of abusing, leave my man, tell her, he's allowed to marry. If he has not married you, he's just wasting your time. But
so on that point, before you go, do you think it is in order for me to tell let's say I'm married, to tell my husband that, you see, Abdul Karim, let me bring a talk to that side dish of yours. Do you think it's in order for me to talk to the girl he is talking to by myself, or I'm supposed to talk to my husband? Because when we were getting married, my contract was with my husband and not that second party coming in. So do you, which one is in order? Do I confront her or I confront the one I made the contract?
Okay. By default,
Confront is hello, leave
Okay.
my man, or
No.
if he's not married to you.
by default, the moment your man has a side dish, he has broken the contract. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the moment a man commits zina, that's an automatic divorce. So if you know, like we know, we find out our husbands cheat and we keep quiet. And you cry your tears and he'll forgive, and you'll forgive and pray for him on Allah's behalf. Allah, please forgive my husband. It was a place. Yes. Because he's your husband. Who are you going to end up with in Jannah?
Another.
Okay.
You get that in Jannah.
So,
How many are you going to have?
you used the
Before you
wrong
go to
word.
Jannah.
You used the word confront.
Yes.
Confront, like, okay.
I did not say confront. The issue is you have a contract. Let me say a business. You have a business. To me, marriage is a contract.
Yeah.
Simply that. It's a business venture that has
With
emotional
no
capital.
time limit.
No, but it has emotional capital. That's what marriage is. A business with emotional capital. So if he cheats, and he's ruining the business, so do I have a chance to help this? Yes. Why is that girl keeping on talking? Because the girl is a woman just like me. She wants to get married. She's doing it because she wants a life partner, right? So maybe your husband didn't tell her he was married. Maybe your husband is playing with her. But whilst they play with these girls build hopes, aspirations, and dreams. Because I don't think there's a guy, or maybe if she wants the money. But if this girl, your husband has deceived her, he is taking her to places, he is promising. And it's up to, when I pick the phone and tell her, you know what, Jamida, I'm not going to, Jamida, salam alaikum. Do not fight, do not shout, do not lower yourself below. Tell her, Jamida, I am a Muslim. He's a Muslim. If he has not given you nikah, he is wasting your time. The fact that I know about you means he likes you and he's all these things. So tell him to marry you. There's nothing holding him back from marrying you. Set the fire. If he wants, he will marry. If he has four, they will dump Jamida. So it's not a confrontation per se. Because at the end of the day, even if he's your husband, he's still a Muslim brother. And it's your business. How are you going to protect it? Are you going to turn a blind eye? So, calling her is not lowering yourself. And sometimes, by the way, she'll call you. Yes, those ones that want you out are very aggressive. They will call you.
And be like,
So that you get annoyed and leave your house. So that they can come in. So if she calls you, you've never given him permission. We're like, Jamida, yes, permission. He's a Muslim man. So, I don't know if Allah allows to do that. Like, by the way, I think it's not you. There's a conjula coming up. It's not you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Is that kind of advising, or because she talked about confronting?
she claims she's a realist. So.
Oh,
I don't
mashallah.
claim.
No, she is.
She
a realist.
says, she
I
says.
brand
Yeah, she says
myself
she's a realist. So
Mashallah.
she discusses it the way it is.
Because at the
What she
end
has
of the
made
day,
and it's as good
let
as
me just say this. At the end of
So,
the day,
let's-
let me just at the end of the day, whether you choose to believe it or not, it's a harsh reality. Look at the table we are sitting at. Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. And we have a brother here. So if I'm saying mashallah, she's smart and beautiful, what is he thinking? There are so many available girls out there. So either you help your husband and tie him down diplomatically, or you give him the license to go out. If he knows you're very strict and for you don't want that business of a second wife, he's going to sample the whole world. But if he starts and you enable him, he starts, you're like, you want marry. You want marry. He's like, is that my co-wife? You will see. He will think about the marriage, and you know these girls want the big functions. They're not like you got married to them when they are poor and you accepted the one chicken, one goat, and a bottle of soda. These girls have budgets.
Probably the one he got doesn't want those big functions. Maybe. You never know. Yes, please.
Okay. On her point, we are moving on from here.
Yes.
Now she has talked about the marriage operation and all these things, and the challenges women face. And she mentioned the husband they're married to, and sometimes suspicion. So I will like to ask you, have you heard there is something I term as married singles? People who are married, they are happily married or they seem happily married.
They seem maybe.
In reality,
some
but in
of them-
reality, the lady in this home is running the home. Like she's employed, she has her career like on point. She's providing for the home.
And the
she's
man is
paying
jobless?
school fees. No, the man is working, but he just has neglected his responsibilities.
Because of the other outside, the other wife outside.
It may not necessarily be that. It may
Maybe-
be that, or just him as a person has just not, he's not like fulfilling his responsibilities. Because as Muslim women, we know it's the men that provide and protect, and you know the responsibilities. I mean, I can't wake up in the morning and say like, you see now, Abdul Karim, this year you give birth, me I won't. No, it's like my duty. So now, if
Are you talking about
So
this
if
man who
this-
has one wife or the
I'm
one?
talking about married singles. Understand the concept.
Yes.
The thing is, you are married with your wife.
Yes.
A marriage is between two people. It doesn't matter whether you have
Whether you have
or not.
others outside there, yes.
Now, so you're two, and then this wife is the one that's catering for the home. She's the one earning. She's paying school fees. She's providing food for the home and everything that comes along with provision and all. Yes. So you are married with her. Irrespective whether you have another wife or not, that's none of her business. Her business is you have to provide. But now you have issues with her working. Like her challenge in her career is the husband. What do you think of this? How would you address this issue?
And meaning, what we're trying to see, that you working led him to not providing necessities.
No, it is not the cause. It is not the cause in any.
Because it's just him from the blue,
From
neglecting
the
the
blue,
family.
he has just neglected his responsibilities.
Now, there's a problem. I believe, the Prophet said, Adini nasiha, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, adini nasiha. Two of you should try to, what should I say, try to advise, guide each other. That's all about marriage. Because our deen is all about guidance, and when you find me in done a mistake, then you should tell me, Abdul Karim, this has happened, but the religion does not accept this. Secondly, people outside there who are not yet married think about istikhara. Istikhara is a way of asking
Choice.
or choice,
Decision,
making prayer. There are two things. Oh Allah, if you know better, if Maryam is better for me, my deen, my life, and my end, then decree her for me. If she is not good for me, my life, my deen, and my end, then she should stay away from me. People don't see that as a reason, but the Prophet had a reason as to why he why he told us to do that. You get? So if we did istihara and then this happened, then the meaning we have mistakes with our Lord, not with our husbands. Maybe you annoyed Allah and then He's paying you. That's what Allah does.
So you're blaming Allah. We shall take the whole
Not blaming
blame.
Allah, not blaming Allah, but blaming ourselves. Then we should look into ourselves, focus on yourself, see what you've done to Allah. Maybe you've wronged Allah. Then He's turning the husband, as in, the husband has mistreated you, but you did something wrong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you should pray for forgiveness to Allah, and then pray to Allah for the guidance of your husband. We don't pray for our wives. You don't pray for your husband. Then my husband left me. Yes, from the blue, he neglected me. No, you just pray to Allah. I think dua is the best weapon for a Muslim, for a believer actually, men and women. Things happen. We know things happen. A husband from the blue say, "Oh, Maryam, I don't like you," what, and then he won't give you a divorce. You get? But let's try to make dua as our weapon, men and women outside there. I think that's our solution. Yes,
So
for each other. Maryam, no matter the
So
situation,
your overall solution is dua.
is dua.
There's no like practical,
The practicals are followed by dua because you try to behave well, of course. Maybe your behavior is not good at home also. Maybe
The wife or the
the wife or the husband. Either way.
You really like
Either way.
picking on us. So now let me just
Actually, you said you're speaking on behalf of women.
No, I'm not speaking on behalf of women. I'm
The
just
marriage.
helping out to get our ideas
So
out.
that's why I told you.
Out of this book.
Men and women there should try and implement pray for each other. Allah will change the situation. No matter how the situation is. That's my solution.
Well, that is your solution.
Yeah. No matter what happened, neglected you, you're paying school fees, you're paying the water bills, you're paying everything, pray to Allah.
Okay.
Allah will change the situation because they,
So on top of the situation you're talking about, I think, you know, dua is dua, but God gave us brains and, you know, provided that kind of thing. So we need to work. We need to try and be good to each other.
To each other, of course.
You don't wait for God. I mean, you follow dua with action.
but you pray first and then act.
You pray
middle,
as you-
first, later,
as you-
whatever,
as you act.
You must. It's actually dedication.
Then you forget.
You have to pray first.
You have to
No,
pray
you have
first
to
and
pray
then
first.
go. Because
Ask
you're
Allah,
getting out.
then go.
You want to get married.
I want to bring my point home.
Eh.
When you're getting married as a Muslim, there's
Should
a
you get a man first
Let
or
me-
you
let
should
me-
pray
let
for
me
a man?
Let me first tell you. When you get, we imagine everything has taken place.
Yes.
So now we are married. Before we get intimate, we're supposed to make special dua.
Yes.
We're supposed to make special prayer. Now that one is not for that day. It is actually blessing your marriage. Yeah.
How about before courtship?
I'm imagining everything.
Everything is done, and
Now
you
I'm
forgot to
beginning-
pray for it.
You can't be forgetting, because even getting a maid, even getting a child, even getting a man, you must pray for God to help you.
Yes.
But my point is, for a blessed marriage,
Yes.
you need to start with that. Now, when you say, what do you bring first? Is it praying or behaving? We have already blessed our marriage. So we have to fight, to behave well, to love our children, our wives. God gave us the 4 things. You marry a woman for 4 things.
Yes.
Now, at least 4 things, you may not get the 4 things, but at least the 3 or 2 will keep you, will keep that bond. If there is no love, it has fallen out, something else will keep you together. Until love comes back. It goes and comes back. Different situations bring that.
And then
So
maybe we should
you
think-
make dua, but you fight to also behave well and love them and everything. Yes.
And then we should think of marrying people with deen. That's what the Prophet emphasized there. He said we marry for 4 reasons.
Yes.
1, beauty, family, wealth.
First deen first.
Not deen first.
Or whatever
It was beauty and then family and then wealth, and then deen. And then he said, you stick on deen.
Yeah, stick on deen.
On deen.
Because
So
it
if
guides you all.
guides you all,
Yes.
you won't get problem.
Yes.
You get Sister Mariam.
But-
If you stick on deen, this problem will not occur. Because you say, oh, the deen says this, please. Then
I'm bringing something around deen.
Yeah.
We are different. I'm a Muslim, you're a Muslim, she's a Muslim. I may dress like this, and she chooses to dress like this. In my heart of hearts, I feel I'm serving God. In her heart of hearts, she's serving God. So, yes, deen first, but we're all different. People understand deen differently. You may think someone is doing zina or behaving badly, but they're doing a lot of sadat. So, deen is also from the heart as well.
What I want to ask Akhi Abdul Karim is, I met someone recently, and he's white. So he tells me, I asked him, how can you describe Uganda? Then he told me Uganda is a country where a person will find a person harmed. Like someone here is harmed, probably they've got an accident or something has happened, like an injury, and they'll tell them, Bambi,
sorry.
we shall pray for you and continue. That's how he describes it. So that's why I will ask you that, do you really think so let's zero down to probably we shall blame it on myself, maybe I wronged Allah and that's why I'm suffering, so let's just make dua. And should we zero down to that?
But making dua,
Because I personally believe that if I'm going to wake up early in the morning, I go to the mosque, I pray Fajr, and then I stay in the mosque the whole day. Allah give me wealth. Allah, I need food to eat. Allah this. And then I stay in the mosque the whole day. Allah is not going to bring me the food. I get your point. I know you may not have meant it literally. I'm just helping you break down this for us, make it more elaborative.
I'll give an example.
Let me interrupt something. What she was trying to mean.
No, I wanted to get his name back.
Wait, let me throw something. He was trying to mean that as we get involved into any work, let's put dua first. Before you say, as we're coming here, you have to put dua first. You're like, okay, Allah help me get there safely, the rain is coming, then you proceed. Not beginning the journey, the rain begins,
And then you start praying for...
I forgot to pray. Help me. That's what he's trying to mean.
No.
Everything we do... Be it marriage, be it
which
looking
is
for a
understandable.
spouse.
My context of
Prayer
the
Sister
question
Mariam was emotional.
no, it wasn't emotional. This is reality. Like, I'm not married, so I can't be emotional. But my point was, these people have been halal. Like, this whole thing was halal from the start.
Yes.
It started as halal. It was, nikah was done. This is not zina. They are not even cohabiting. Zina was not there. It is nikah. The
Yes.
nikah was done. There's been love. You people, fine,
But
love
then love
fluctuates. It
disappears.
goes up and down, up and down. I don't believe love entirely disappears, because if love disappears, then hatred kicks in. I believe it fluctuates, and once the love is low, it's tolerance kicking in. Once the tolerance reduces, the love kicks in. It's like usually that balance. So me, I'm asking, there is this point in life of marriage. He talked about Rahman. At first, we understood the mercy.
Yes.
But in this context, it's in such a way that, remember, your husband does not want you to work, or he has like conditions for your job, yes, which he is right to do, like Islamically. Of course, you have to respect the code, yeah, and then he also has to respect the code, yes. Of course, it's a two-way thing, yeah. But in this case, I just gave a scenario where the woman has no option because the man is not fulfilling his responsibilities, and the woman has children. So probably they are staying together. Yes, they even do the ibadah in the night. Mashallah. Yes, but this woman is catering for the family, like she's breaking.
And
so
happy
she
with
has
that.
to come home. She's not happy. The thing is, she has to come home, fulfill wife duties, fulfill mother duties, fulfill career duties. Yes, and we know this is something that is scripted. But then sometimes I feel like to actually put this into was married singles, like this woman is kind of a married single. Just this issue. I want to hear it from a perspective of the table of men. And today he's the one helping us represent it. So that's why I asked, like, we've done all the halal, and this woman is making dua as she thinks, like a true sequoia level. Yeah, how would he address it?
First of all,
I hope I'm now clear. Like, I'm not like we are being open.
you're clear, but I
Yeah.
think you misquoted me. Why? Because when I talked about dua, it was
No,
like...
I'm not saying I didn't misquote you. I understood that dua bit. I just want you to like dig deeper.
Okay, digging
From
deeper.
dua,
Actually, I won't dig deeper, but what I know from experience, you should get to know as into why this man changed. You should know as into why this man changed. Because even in tawbah, repenting, you need to know as in, why am I repenting? Repenting for what? Oh, I committed adultery with this. Oh Allah, I will not repeat this mistake. I will not do it again. You know. So you should know as into why. If you're not able to sit with him and ask him, as why did you change, my husband? We were well, and then from the blue you changed. Then why did you change? If he's not able to answer you, then you should get to people who can talk with him. You get, because sometimes you women fail to, you say, oh, how should I start there? Then look for Jamida. Jamida, I talk to Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim changed totally. I do this, I do that, I do. Can you talk to him? If Jamida fails, then the imams and these qadis will come in. Then the situation will change. But with dua, because dua is our best weapon.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you have to find a ways of knowing, ascertaining as why this man changed. Because you are well, and why did he change? Why are you paying for the bills, school fees, whatever, everything, you know? So knowing why he changed, then that's communication, I think. Yeah. So meaning you did have communication, so you go for work and then you come back, everything is done with you, and then he's not doing it, you know he's working, he has money. So you start thinking maybe he has another woman outside there, maybe he doesn't have, you know. So communication is, even the Prophet said about that and advised her to communicate, you know. Married people should communicate. Jamida is married to Abdul Karim, communicate,
Time
please.
to time.
All right.
I
So
think
as we
talk something
conclude,
about-
as going to you, as you want to talk what you want to say, are you going to briefly talk about what you want to say,
Yeah.
and then summarize for us in like a sentence or two what marriage, how would you the take home for us, marriage wise, empowered women wise, and how to like overcome the challenges.
What I want to talk about is a challenge that we are facing as women in places of work. I have a friend who really wants to dress Islamically, but the boss doesn't want her to. Actually, she's in a certain position whereby she has to move with the boss, and according to the boss, if she moves dressed in a hijab, the boss would not get clients. So those are some of the challenges that some of our sisters are getting. That's what I wanted to say. Then as a package, as a take home, what did you say?
You summarize the topic of discussion today. Marriage, empowered women,
Okay.
challenges.
Me, I think, first of all, we are Muslim. Let's have that at heart. We are Muslims. We have guidelines, thank God. We have every Muslim knows that there are certain things that we are supposed to do and others that we're not supposed to do. As my brother said, talked about career and what, I think because of the economy and many things really that are in the country, I think you just have to be careful at your place of work, know what you're going to do. If you think it's really not Islamic, you can pull out, but you cannot stay home and not look for a job just because there's a mixture.
But my husband has refused me to work.
And the number two, you bring the thing about your husband. Kindly, you have to agree. Whatever job you're doing, whatever time you're spending at work, it must be an agreement between you and your husband. Otherwise, there's no happiness where you guys are not communicating, where you guys are not abroad.
He doesn't want you to work. What will you do?
You find a way out. He must be your friend. You must discuss things.
That's communication. That's what I
It's
talked about.
communication.
Yeah, communication.
Even when your husband is aware, even when you are aware, you must agree. These things are human. You must. He's a person, a human being. You must mingle. If you don't have that bond of communication, there's nothing that will do. I think so.
Please conclude.
Mashallah, before I conclude, I would like to point out something on an issue that you raised. Currently, many women out there are working and they are the ones who are supporting their families from A to Y.
Yeah.
It's the woman who is paying the rent, it's the woman who is buying the household, it's the woman who is paying the school fees, it's the woman who is doing everything. And if it's contributing, if it's 10%, a man is contributing like 2%. What are we coming to? Yes, there is love, but the most cases when a woman takes on a man's responsibilities, the love deteriorates. And it comes in situation that when these men of ours, when they do not have money, they tend to be arrogant.
Hey.
And when they are arrogant, it will reduce the love on the side of the woman. The scale will weigh so heavily on the side of the woman.
When there is no money,
When there is no money, when the man is poor, most cases they are arrogant.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In this issue, that's why we keep on saying that with every situation that comes, we have to keep dua in the angle. Because if there is no money in the house and there is no prayer, shaitan will overpower us. That's why I believe in one thing, that when your life is full of prayer, your life always be full of power. Women are so much challenged with being the caretakers or the sole breadwinners in their home. If you are the sole breadwinner, my sister, all I'm requesting, make all sunnahs your friends. Salat duha, tahajjud. Make sure you perform your witr before bed. Why? Shaitan is much closer to you because Shaitan wants to show you that you are the head of the family, yet it's wrong. Whether you are 10 times better than the man, believe me, he's the head of the home. If you can never understand that, we can never move ahead with marriage. If you never get to know your position as a woman in a house, however rich you may be, you never know how sweet or nice marriage is. And when it comes to our brothers, please, if you do not have money, pull yourself closer to Allah. The moment you distance yourself from Allah, Shaitan will come in and it will make you believe that your woman is disrespecting you. She may not actually be disrespecting you, but because you do not have money, you begin to see things from the wrong angle of life. Next.
That's when I will start saying you shouldn't go for work.
You shouldn't go for work.
And then
as I conclude, women who are working, the empowered women, my sisters, if you wake up one morning and you very well know that it's your husband who fuels your car, it's your husband who builds or who pays the rent, it's your husband. Okay, your husband is a fulfills 100% his duties. If he wakes up and tells you don't work, and you insist to work, you are breaking your marriage at your own risk. What I would say, if at least you know that if you're honest with yourself, I know that your money that you get from work you are self-employed, or you are employed, or you are employed somewhere, and your money doesn't contribute anything to the well-being of the because most cases we work, but the men give us fuel, they leave Kameza, everything, but we work to the extent that we even ask for airtime for our phones from our husbands, but we work. My sister, the best I can say, if your husband is solely willing to provide everything in the house, Islamically, and he loves you, he cherishes you, the best you can do, sit home.
Chill work.
Sit home, you'll be the best for your life.
Mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Akhi.
I think see, brothers and sisters out there, actually, you should know that marriage is not an option. Before you go to marriage, choose the best partner for you. And then study the partners before you get into, like Sister Mariam not yet married. The Prophet said, try to focus and try to, that's Kalango, sort of Kalango. Try to understand and be careful with the person you're going to get married to before you get into. Don't look about the love, the money, everything, color, what, white, brown, what. So don't look about that. Try to.
Don't be racist.
Yeah, not being racist, but that's the main point. And secondly, try to seek for Allah's guidance before you get into marriage. And then when you're married and things don't turn out well, try to find out your mistake. If there is a mistake, then try to rectify and ask for Allah's guidance in your marriage. Then Allah will make your marriage prosper, inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, we've come to the end of this session. Thank you very much for listening. I have loved this session. I hope you've enjoyed this too. I would just encourage all of us, the married and the ones that are looking forward to, let us understand the human values of understanding, of love, of sincerity and brotherhood. I think with that we shall make it, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.